of the media and cultural organization Define America. Jose, good to have you on. Thank you so much. How you doing?
Doing okay. Thanks for having me, Don.
Yeah, absolutely. You were at the speech this evening. Overall, what did you think?
Well, I have to say I was privileged to be invited, actually, to be at the speech. Leader Pelosi invited me to be one of her guests, so I was there in the chamber. I have to say, actually, the only time that the president got booed, I don't know if you noticed this, Don, was when he introduced this Victims of Immigration Crime Engagement, which is a whole new office that people can use to report crimes being committed by, quote-unquote, illegal people. I have to say, by the way, like, are the crimes being committed against American citizens not as, like, I'm the logic behind this to me, and the fact that this is just so at its face discriminatory, right? I think when it comes to immigration, clearly this president is not operating in a factual kind of environment.
Do you think that because, you know, his rhetoric was different, his language wasn't quite as harsh? He's you know, go on.
Well, look at, you know, at Define American, we like to do, you know, we like to make sure that we sparking conversations. So I'm curious what he means when he says that he's looking for both Republicans and Democrats to work on immigration reform. He's right. The president is right that we have not had meaningful immigration reform in decades. But it's really tough to kind of, you know, have a series of raids and start deporting mothers of U.S. citizen children like last week, and then this week talk about immigration reform.
Okay,
right?
let's listen to a bit of what he said, and then we'll talk more.
By finally enforcing our immigration laws, we will raise wages, help the unemployed, save billions and billions of dollars, and make our communities safer for everyone.
What do you think, Jose?
Well, Don, let me make this absolutely clear. There is no correlation between being here as an undocumented person and committing crime. The study after study has shown that there's no correlation whatsoever, right? And what I find interesting is that the president and Republicans believe in smaller government, yet they keep trying to spend billions and billions of dollars trying to protect you from, quote-unquote, criminals from Mexico, when the reality is, you know, it's net migration from Mexico to the United States. You know, the fastest growing undocumented population, Don, are Asian people. I'm Filipino, right? We're the fastest growing undocumented population, not Mexicans and not Latinos.
The president also spoke about building his wall. Listen to this.
And we will soon begin the construction of a great, great wall along our southern border. As we speak tonight, we are removing gang members, drug dealers, and criminals that threaten our communities and prey on our very innocent citizens. Bad ones are going out as I speak, and as I've promised throughout the campaign. To any in Congress who do not believe we should enforce our laws, I would ask you this one question. What would you say to the American family that loses their jobs, their income, or their loved one because America refused to uphold its laws and defend its borders?
Jose, what do you think?
Well, what I think is, in this country, I think we know that laws haven't always meant just and justice, right? I mean, actually tonight, I met the two U.S. citizen children of a woman named Guadalupe who got deported to Mexico. She's been living here since she was 14. She got deported because, you know, her crime, so to speak, was providing for her kids. She got a fake Social Security number, which is what I had to do, so I could, you know, keep working and paying Social Security and paying taxes. I have to ask, by the way, how many more billions of dollars do we want to spend protecting you from this border? Has humanity ever built a border that could withstand human will? So long as parents are hungry and want to feed their kids, they're going to cross whatever border you put in front of them.
Jose,
you know, as I said, I was in the chamber tonight, and I'm looking at all those congressional members and reminding myself about their own immigrant backgrounds.
I want to ask you, because I saw the story that you mentioned about the woman who got a fake Social Security card. By presenting that woman and her story, do you think you're making an argument for the other side? Because there are many people who say, you know, and believe she broke the law. And if she broke the law, she has to face the consequences. If you, that is a federal crime. to have a fake Social Security card?
Well, by the way, and you know, since we are talking about that, right? Maybe we should talk to the Social Security Administration, who collect contributions from people like me who use fake ID. Mind you, by the way, when that happens, I don't want to have to use fake anything. I used to fake Social Security number so I could work, and I could pay Social Security so I could pay taxes, right? We are caught in a system that doesn't make any sense. People like me don't enjoy being here and being called criminals and, you know, quote-unquote illegal people, right? We all do what we do to survive. Now, mind you, by the way, being here illegally is a civil offense, not a criminal one. So is her crime because she's providing for her children?
But her crime is a federal offense. I mean, to have a fake Social Security card, that's pretty serious.
Well, and again, that's something that I had done myself. What are we supposed to do if we want to work and contribute?
I'm just going to play devil's advocate. That people would say that I know that in many instances people come across the border, or children come across, their parents brought them across, and that it's not their fault.
All of that, yes.
But it was her choice to come across the border. And there are people who would say, if you don't come across, you don't break a crime, you don't commit a crime.
Well, actually,
therefore you don't go to jail or you don't get deported.
Well, but Don, being here illegally, unlawfully, is a civil offense and not a criminal one. So that's
But it's still offense. Right? It's still breaking a law, whether it's civil or
and again,
criminal.
But why are people coming? I mean, we put a sign out to the U.S.-Mexico border that says "Keep out." 10 yards in, what do we say? Help wanted. We are a country addicted to cheap labor. We've always been addicted to cheap labor, right? I mean, right now, as we're talking, 1.8 million undocumented people in the state of Texas, right? How are they getting around? I mean, is there a subway system in Texas? So people have to drive without a license. And then before you know it, they get arrested. Before you know it, they get deported. Before you know it, they're separated from their family. So what is the crime there in trying to work? I mean, I actually think one of the things that was
But isn't the actual crime coming across the border?
Being here illegally, unlawful presence is a civil offense, not a criminal one, Don. Talk to an immigration lawyer about that.
Jose, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We're coming